What is going on at CNN, you guys? The coverage of Simone Biles leaving the Olympics has been mind-blowingly terrible and flat out dishonest, you guys. I saw Poppy Harlow, who's supposed to be talking about the gold medal winner in gymnastics, spend the whole time talking about Simone Biles. I saw John Berman saying that she was a hero this morning, and it just makes people who are thinking of joining the progressive movement think we're ridiculous. When CNN goes on the air and says things like, you need to wear 3 masks now instead of 2 to go outside, or that leaving the Olympics mid-Olympics is a good thing and makes you a hero, it makes them sound ridiculous. And let's be honest, you guys, Simone Biles had 5 years to prepare for the Olympics, mentally and physically. And if she wasn't feeling well, there was an appropriate and professional time to step out of the Olympics so that another gymnast could have stepped in and experienced her Olympic dreams, right? That would have been the right thing to do. And just to show you the hypocrisy at CNN, let's go back. Let's go back to the Parkland shooting, okay? There was a police officer at the school. His name was Scott Peterson. And when the shooter came in with an AR-15, he had a little pea shooter. And he was an old man at the end of his career. He was scared, afraid for his life. So he called for backup. He didn't engage the shooter. It was probably a smart move for his life. It's what a lot of people would have done in that situation. And fear is a very natural human emotion. And he was in a very scary and deadly situation. Multiple people were murdered there, right? And so what did CNN do? They persecuted this poor man on the air. They had no room to give him any benefit of the doubt. They straight up persecuted him, and this poor old man ended up going to prison for child neglect, no less. So, on one hand, Simone Biles, who's a prima donna athlete, making $10 million in sponsorship, driving a Bugatti, living in a mansion, who comes unprepared to the Olympics, if she steps down, she is a hero. But this other man who's in fear for his life in the middle of a mass shooting, if he calls for backup, which is part of his job, but just chooses not to kill himself for the cause, he deserves to go to prison. So, CNN, I'm just looking for a little bit of consistency. I'm just trying to find the logic in your train of thought here. How can it be that on one hand, Scott Peterson, who is just afraid, a natural emotion, needs to go to prison, and on the other hand, a girl that shows up unprepared to her job, she is a hero? Because I can't find the logic on that. I think it's ridiculous. I think CNN's coverage of this whole Simone Biles thing has been completely ridiculous. I think it's totally biased, and the reason I think it's biased is very simple. Because Simone Biles is a double minority. She is a woman athlete, she's also an African American, and she also is a survivor of Larry Nassar. So they are so terrified to say anything about her and have any group come after them that they can't even honestly cover what happened at the Olympics. And that's just sad.